Hi guys, Mr. Story. Today I want to talk about distributive property, and what distributive property is. It's just a tool for simplifying expressions. There's a very specific time that we use distributive property, but we're going to kind of run through the distributive property in its most basic form today. What is the distributive property? What it says is when we have a term on the outside of a parentheses of one or more terms, we're allowed to distribute this outside term by using multiplication. Notice that there's no operation between the a and the parentheses, so that means we're multiplying. So what that means is I'm going to take this a and multiply it by every term inside the parentheses, hence the name distributive. We're going to distribute the a, but we're going to use multiplication to do that. All right. So what this says is we can do a times b and then do a times positive c, and that'll give us the expression ab plus ac. But let's jump into our first example. So what I like to do is I say, okay, the term that I'm going to be multiplying everything by is 2. So what I need to do is distribute this 2 into my parentheses. Now, the way I like to think about it is I'm going to distribute it to every term in the parentheses. Well, my first term is 3x. Right? So what I'll do is I'll do 2 times 3x, which gives me 6x. Now, kind of the tricky part of this is my second term is positive 4. Yes, I know that's a plus sign, but when we're talking expressions and looking at terms individually, that plus sign actually tells that 4 to be positive, right? So what I like to do is just box in the second term being positive 4, and I make sure I get that sign in there. That way I remember that it's positive. So what I'll do from here is, I'll do, okay, 2 times positive 4. Well, 2 times positive 4 is positive 8. So actually, when I go to write that, I'm going to write plus 8 to represent positive 8. These are not like terms, so what that means is we're actually done. This is our answer, if you will. It's simplified, and we use distributive property to do that. Okay? The second one, I'm going to distribute a negative 3. Well, my first term is a positive 6x. So negative 3 times positive 6x would give me negative 18x. And again, the essence of this is really identifying that second term. The second term is positive 2. So I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, I missed it on the first one here. I'm going to distribute the negative 3 to the positive 2. What's negative 3 times positive 2? Well, that's negative 6, or it kind of translates to minus 6. And we're done. Moving along, again, a lot of the same idea here. We're going to do negative 8 times every term, or multiply by every term on the inside. Well, my first term is positive 5x. Negative 8 times positive 5x is negative 40x. And again, here's why it becomes so important that we pay attention to the term, including the sign. So when I go to box this in, notice that's going to be negative 8 times negative 4. Negative 8 times negative 4 is actually positive 32. And yes, I know that's a plus sign, but the way I like to think about it is, hey, if it's a positive term, then that's where the plus sign comes from. So we're kind of like playing with words and kind of tricking ourselves into writing the correct thing. And we're done right there. Let's keep moving here. Notice our terms are kind of switched around, but what you'll find is that really doesn't matter. The number we're going to multiply is 3. Okay, my first term is negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. My second term is negative 7x. 3 times negative 7x is negative 21x. And again, we kind of tricked ourselves into writing a minus sign, right? So negative 3 minus 21x is my final answer. Keep it moving here. We're going to multiply by negative 3 again. My first term is negative 4x. Negative 3 times negative 4x is positive 12x. Negative 3 times, again, including the symbol, negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. So I'll write plus 15 and done. And the reason we can't combine these is because they're not like terms, right? Notice that my first term, and pretty much all of these except for this one, it's kind of switched around, has an x, and my second one doesn't. So they are not combinable. So this is the best we can do as far as simplifying this expression goes. Notice in this one that there's no A, there's no number out front, but again, there's always kind of a side door in math where we can go, wait a minute, there actually is something there. Just like we can put a 1 in front of variables that have no coefficient, we can also do the same here. Notice there's no number here, but I can actually draw a 1 in there. So what that tells me, or what that shows me, is that I'm actually distributing a -1. Well, my first term is -6x. -1 times -6x is going to give me +6x. My second term is +4. -1 times +4 will give me -4. And we're done. Again, this is just simplifying. We probably won't ever land on just a single number answer. This is just a simplifying tool for expressions, right? Some guys like to draw the little rainbow things to help them, you know, remember where they're at in their distribution. But you can see I kind of fell off that in the middle. But as you get better at it, you know, that kind of stuff comes a little more naturally. So, guys, that's all I have for you on the distributive property today. I hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you in the next one.